Hello guys and welcome to my channel. I'm making a survival dynasty game where you try not to die so that eventually your children can try not to die, and so on and so on. Welcome to Devlog 1. I've had so many games that I've started and just gave up before it even got anywhere. And that was always because I wanted it to be perfect from the start. After watching a couple of guys on YouTube and seeing their videos, seeing that it's all imperfect from the start and it gets more and more refined as long as you go, I decided to do the same. I also decided to put it on YouTube to hold myself accountable. The art style is so important. I went for pixel art because I gave up many games. I wanted them to look too good. I just used ChatGPT to create a couple of pixel art sprites because I'm not good at art at all. I use Python in my day-to-day life, so I went with the Godot engine because of the similar languages. I quickly realized that I need a camera to change the zoom levels so I can see what's going on around me. I'm still trying to learn the system and the engine and navigating around it, so bear with me if I get lost sometimes. I created a camera script where mouse wheel down zooms in and mouse wheel up zooms out. That's just personal preference. Next, I played around with the initial zoom just to see where I wanted it to start from. As you can see, zooming out at 1 was way too much, so I moved it back to 2. Our player had to be able to move around and move into things, so I created a rectangular collision box around him. I realized that the movement didn't feel natural, so I moved the sprite up with 16 pixels, half of my pixel height. When it was at 0, 0, the player moved with the center of their body where the mouse clicked. By transforming the sprite 16 pixels up, it felt more like the player was standing on top of the mouse click. I generated a lot of the code with ChatGPT, so if you want to try this yourself, don't be scared because you don't know how to code. Movement is also restricted if the distance to the target is less than 2, just to make the movement and the interactions feel a little bit more natural. As you can see, the movement's still a little bit wobbly, but we're going to fix it down the line. It's also quite difficult to see the exact movement with all the background being the same, so I moved to the edge of the map just to show the relation. We also have a variable for speed, which we're going to change later down the line when we add items, traits, and things like that. Dying is a reality in this game, so I added some help. I created a wolf NPC enemy, our first enemy and the first danger to our world. This sprite I also had ChatGPT generate. It's got a background, so I used pikselapp to just remove the background. I'll put a link to that in the description. As you just saw, not good at art at all. Next, the wolf had to be dangerous, so I created the script for the wolf. As soon as the game starts, the wolf finds the player. And a simple print debug shows us those locations and which player it has targeted. Obviously, you don't want the wolf running to you across the map, so I created a conditional for the distance. It stops moving when it's too close or too far. I'm still going to refine these distances to make it feel more natural and like danger is always around. Next, we had to actually make the wolf dangerous. So I created a collision box around it. I used onAttack area body to simplify the code. This allowed us to have an area around the wolf. If we got in contact with this area, we would take damage. This led me to creating the damage taking function. You'll see a max health and a health integer. These are both used in the take damage function. To prevent future bugs, I just created a conditional if health is less than 0, it will be 0. You'll see that the wolf doesn't continuously attack if the player is in that area, so I had to move away the whole time. This is something I will fix by next time. After taking enough damage, you die. Simple as that. Because we'll have different enemies, I created an on-attack function. Over here you'll see me create a damage variable to ensure that different enemy types can have different damage amounts and damage types. Now we needed a way to see our health. As you saw earlier, we're referencing the progress bar and the label. These are our UI elements. I created a very simple progress bar that showed our max health and our current health. This was set up by creating a background color and a fill color. As I'm going along, I'm learning. So I see that we get the tree, get the root, find the child called health bar, and we do the same with the HP label, and we import them as progress bar and label. Then we reference them in the take damage function, and magic starts to happen. The core part of any survival game is gathering resources and building a base. Base building is still far away, so don't get too excited. But we're going to start working on gathering resources. I also got distracted and wanted to show you the attack feature. So you'll see the wolf die here. My squirrel brain gets distracted quickly, so I swap between different tasks quite often. I created a simple attack on mouse button right. We have an attack function that looks for the attack area and the overlapping bodies. It also sees if the overlapping body is in the enemy's group. The cooldown, damage and timer are all variables because they will be changed by items or traits. Creating groups for my nodes was also one of the things that took a while to find. But if you simply click on the node button in the top right, as you can see I'm struggling, and click on groups, you can create new ones. Our enemy also had to have a health and a take damage function. The color of the sprite also changes when we damage the enemy to give us some feedback as the player. You'll see we turn red when we take damage, so does the wolf. I also wanted the combat to feel a bit more realistic, so I created a circular collision box so you can't attack above your head or below your feet. All I'm doing now is moving the wolf away so that it doesn't run at us, and I can show you the resource collection. This is our tree node with the art also from ChatGPT. I created a rectangular box around the trunk of the tree to keep it a little bit more realistic, so we can move behind the tree and not get stuck on the branches and the leaves. I've had a lot of fun with this project. My editing skills are not great, my microphone is not great, so please bear with me, but follow along with the journey. Finally, we're at the resource gathering. game wouldn't be fun if you couldn't interact with the world, so I created a function and it sees if there are interactable objects around you. Pressing the interact button when there's nothing around gives us a debug statement saying nothing to interact with. Pressing it next to a tree, you'll see collecting wood. I then had to give the tree some durability and how much is collected per interact. The tree will also disappear when the durability hits 0. I created a simple inventory system to see how much wood we had. Next we have our berry bush. The berry bush follows the exact same logic as the tree. Another favor from ChatGPT, so I didn't have to create any art. These collision boxes are circular and the bush is much smaller than the tree. It uses the same logic as the tree as I said before, except only this time it's for berries. In the player script we also need a way to store the berries and differentiate between berries and wood. With a debug statement saying how many berries we have and that we've collected them. I also then added a function to give the berries some kind of purpose. I gave the berries some purpose that was regenerating our health. And that worked wonderfully. I moved the wolf earlier, so I had to find him first. I set up the keybind for try to eat berries as Q. Success! I also wanted to make sure that you can't eat any more berries than you need health. As you see here, already at max health. The amount of berries we have is also consistent with how many we ate. That is what I've got so far. I've been working on this for about 7 or 8 hours. As you can see, I'm not proficient. I don't know everything. I'm trying to figure it out. If you want to follow along on this journey, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. I will also record the actual development from this point as I figure out terrains and collisions and so on. If you have any suggestions or questions, please put them in the comments. I'm going to read every single one for as long as I can. I've been having so much fun with this, so I'm going to keep posting the videos, keep myself accountable, and work on this project till it is finished. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.